All right, let's see this nade shot post.
What's going on, everybody? I just want to take a second real quick to talk about the announcement regarding our Valorant roster. Obviously, I know it probably comes as a surprise that we're moving away from BabyJ and Eccles. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you to both those players. There is never, ever, under any circumstance, where I want there to be a situation where their involvement with our organization is as short-lived as this one. And I think they're both incredibly talented players and clearly have a future in professional Valorant. And I think they'll land on their feet, or at least that's my hope, not only professionally, but personally. I think their contribution should not go overlooked. And I really just want to say thank you for them and the time that they invested into our organization. I think a lot of people have a hard time understanding why we made this decision. It's tough to say that this wasn't a results based decision, but it really wasn't. Obviously a disappointing loss yesterday to the Guard. Cloud9 got the better of us, beating us 2-0 last week. And I think a lot of people just don't have the ability to look deeper into what causes issues with teams and rosters. In a lot of cases, in my experience of competing, sometimes it really doesn't come down to the talent and it doesn't come down to the results. It comes down to the culture, the mindset, and the philosophy and how the game should be approached. And Call of Duty was one thing. It's a little bit more singular in how the way the game is played. There's really only a couple right ways and a lot of wrong ways to play the game. But with Valorant, with all of the utility and the composition of agents, I feel like you can really get lost in the weeds and how the game should be played and how you should approach each match and each map that you end up competing on. So I would say this was a decision that we felt was necessary for the success or the potential opportunity for us to qualify in the future of 2022 in all the tournaments that are to come. And the format is just grueling, to be honest with you. Only two teams go to Iceland. And basically, if you don't qualify, your year is done, besides some of the, tier 2 or tier 3 tournaments that you can play in across different tournament platforms and websites and organizations. So it's really make or break. And we just felt like we didn't want to wait out the inevitable. We just felt like the roster and the players and the way that they meshed just didn't fit well together. And so, you got to take a big swing. And so we're excited to welcome BabyJ and JcStani to the roster, and we hope that we can find success. I'm really sorry to the community that's looking for a better long-term solution. I know that it's never fun dealing with turbulence and the rosters, and it's never fun to not have confidence in the organization that is fielding these players. But we're trying to win, and we never want that to come at the cost of recycling players and really not giving people the opportunity to perform and prove themselves. But it's a cutthroat circuit, and I think these are changes for the best. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that can give you a little bit of insight as to how we were thinking through this. And we now are looking forward to our match next week and hoping we can find some success. So thanks for listening. Thanks for understanding. And hopefully that made sense. Y'all take it easy.
Okay, so first and foremost, I want to say my reaction to this is you can't not like this guy, okay? Nadeshot is a perfect example of got it out the mud, okay? Grinded his ass off, and now he fucking made it, okay? So this is a good move by him in the sense of, he is a great face to put on something for damage control, right? Number two, when you bring up the idea that people weren't meshing well and the culture wasn't right, that is something that you find out in a trial period, okay? That is something that you find out when you do trials, okay? And again, I'm not this tier 1 big shot pro billionaire fucking video game player, but I've been in situations similar to this, just not with the amount of money that's involved, if that makes sense. So I know the exact type of scenario that this person is describing, and it's something that you sniff out in trials. You can't do months and months and months of trials and practice, decide on a guy that got dropped from playing EU Valorant, and BabyJ, one of the more underrated players in NA, whether when it comes to his cipher tech and his mechanics, he's insane. Super high IQ, game IQ player. It doesn't make sense to me that you commit to signing them and then you drop them and you try to cover up saying that it's not performance or result based through the idea of mentioning something that happens in a trial process. That's the thing that I don't understand. So my question would be, playing devil's advocate, I would ask, so you personally think that bringing JcStani and Bang onto your team is better than rolling with the amount of practice and the amount of time that you've invested through Eccles and BabyJ? And I agree with you, Frosty. I think that there are things, true colors will show, but at the end of the day, you have to understand that you can fight and power through all of that if this was a normal situation, but this isn't a normal situation. This is blown out of proportion. Again, I like Nadeshot. Great guy. I like 100 Thieves. I'm a fan. This team is not going to get to Iceland. They weren't going to get to Iceland with Eccles or BabyJ, and they're not going to get to Iceland with Bang. Okay? Like, that's what it comes down to. They need to take their time on this, man. They need to take their time. Drop out of all of your events. Reassess with the core roster what they want to do, number one. Reassess with the coach who we should look at, who we should wait, who we should buy out. We have $55 trillion. You know what I mean? However much they're worth, right? It's just 100 Thieves is not going to Iceland. They're completely outclassed. It's not even close. 100 Thieves is going to place either 5th or 6th in this group, okay? Either 5th or 6th. They're not going to Iceland. They're not going to Iceland. Version 1 and Cloud9 are going to Iceland. It just doesn't make sense to me. Why would you drop these people instead of number one working with them for the entirety of this, which again is only till March 13th, right? There's only 3 weeks of this left, okay? You are gambling that all the practice, that all the work, all the visa time that you've invested and banked on isn't worth doing. So you're going to say that you're taking a big swing picking up Bang and picking up Stani. And again, when I say that, I'm not saying that in a bad way. Bang and JcStani are insane players. They are both so fucking good. But you can't just say that. We want to win, we want to go to Iceland. Okay, do it next time because it's not your time now. You can't like pug and 50-50 your way to a major. Like that's not how that works. You're going to get outclassed by literally every team here. Evil Geniuses, every team will outclass them when it comes to chemistry. No matter how good and how good Bang and JcStani are, that's just what it is. That's simply just what it is. That is what it is. No matter how good they are, that is what it is. Think about any pro sports team, any insane super team. Remember like the 2017 or the 2018 Cleveland Cavaliers? They got like D Wade to come from Miami for 1 year. Like they brought in all these superstars and it didn't work at all. It's like you can't bring in these insane players and just say, "All right, guys, qual." You know what I mean? It's like you gotta just take a step back. Your option number one is to stay with Eccles and BabyJ and wait out the 3 weeks and then drop them if it doesn't work. Sure, that would make sense. Or, or you get out now, drop them, and announce that you are just not even competing in this. That's what I don't understand. They should have just went with option number one and waited 3 weeks. There's no rush for this. You're not qualing for Iceland. You're not getting top 2. You're not getting top 4. You're getting elimed. So I just don't understand that at all. I really have a hard time getting behind that idea. That doesn't make any sense to me.